It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Your cat has the entire house, but they are on your face. What I'm about to tell you changes what that means completely. And the last thing in this video, most vets don't bring it up until it's too late. Most people assume they know why. The cat is cold. You are warm. Simple biology. The internet has told you this 10,000 times. But here is the problem with that explanation. If warmth were the answer, if body heat were all this was, your cat would be equally content sleeping on a hot water bottle, on a heated blanket, or on the dog. They are not. They are specifically on you. And when behavioral neuroscientists started looking at this question seriously, not as a cute pet fact, but as a scientific problem, what they found is something almost nobody who owns a cat actually knows. What your cat is doing when they sleep on you is not about temperature. It is one of the most complex expressions of trust, attachment, and evolutionary biology that exists between two entirely different species. And it has been building for over 10,000 years. Let's start with the behavior that most cat owners read completely backwards. For most of the 20th century, the scientific consensus on cats was straightforward. They are solitary, they are independent, and they bond to places, not to people. Veterinary textbooks said it. Behaviorists said it. The entire cultural narrative around cats was built on it. Cats tolerate you. Dogs love you. In 2019, a team at Oregon State University decided to actually test this assumption. Using the Ainsworth Strange Situation Protocol, the same laboratory procedure used to measure emotional attachment in human infants, they evaluated whether cats form what psychologists call a secure attachment bond to their owners. 64% of domestic cats tested showed secure attachment to their owner, identical to the percentage found in human infants, identical to dogs. Most owners have no idea this study exists. But what it means is this. When your cat chooses to sleep on your body instead of anywhere else in the house, they are not making a comfort calculation. They are enacting an attachment behavior. The same neurological need that makes a human infant want to sleep against its mother is the same mechanism operating in your cat at 2 o'clock in the morning. You are not their heater. You are their secure base. But attachment psychology only explains why they want to be near you. It does not explain what is happening chemically, in both of you, while they are there. For that, we need to go to chemistry. And what researchers found changes the picture completely. For a long time, scientists assumed that if cats produced bonding hormones at all in response to humans, it was minor and incidental. Cats were solitary hunters. The oxytocin system was thought to operate primarily in pack animals, wolves, primates, humans. Then researchers in Japan decided to measure it directly, in both species simultaneously. 32 cat owners interacted with their own cats for 10 minutes at home. Researchers measured oxytocin levels, heart rate variability, and stress hormones in the owners and in the cats, before and after. Both species showed measurable hormonal changes. The correlation between the two was significant. The interaction shifted both nervous systems into a state of active, alert calm at the same time. The bond is not one-directional. It runs both ways, chemically, simultaneously. This is what is happening when your cat settles on your chest. Their hormonal state is responding to your presence, and your hormonal state is responding to theirs. Two nervous systems, silently calibrating each other in the dark. And here is where it gets strange. If you take everything we just described, the oxytocin loop, the nervous system co-regulation, you would expect people who sleep with their cats to report better sleep. But when scientists actually measured it, they found the opposite. Dr. Christy Hoffman at Canisius College surveyed 962 adult women about sleeping with their pets. The findings about cats were unexpected. Objectively, cats are terrible sleep partners. They are crepuscular animals, active at dawn and dusk. They walk on your face. They knock things off shelves at 3 a.m. They knead your stomach for 6 minutes and then leave. The study found that people who share a bed with a cat report sleep disruption levels equivalent to sharing a bed with another human. And yet, The same cat owners still reported that having their cat present provided measurable comfort and security. The disruption was real. The need to keep them there was stronger. The cats were disrupting their sleep, and the owners refused to remove them. Not because they did not notice, because the alternative, sleeping without them, felt worse. There is something in the human nervous system that finds the presence of a bonded cat more valuable than the sleep it costs. That is not logic, that is attachment. And we do not get to choose it. The reason the pull is this strong goes back 10,000 years, to a grave, on a small island in the Mediterranean. Because it does not start with you. It does not start with your cat. It starts 10,000 years ago on a small island in the Mediterranean, in a grave. Cyprus. 9,500 years ago. An archaeologist is carefully clearing soil from a burial site when the brush touches something unexpected. A second set of bones. Smaller. Arranged deliberately beside the human skeleton, facing the same direction. Close enough that in life, they would have been touching. A cat. Buried with a person. Not thrown in. Not sacrificed. Placed. With care. Oriented toward the same direction as the human, as if they were meant to face the same unknown together. This is the oldest known evidence of a cat buried with a human. It predates Egypt's cat worship by over 4,000 years. Before cats became symbols, before they became status, before they became internet content, there was just this: one person, one cat, and a decision 9,500 years ago that they did not want to go wherever comes next without their cat beside them. That feeling is the same feeling that makes you refuse to move when you wake up with a cat on your chest. It is ancient. It is in our biology. We have been needing this for longer than written language has existed. And genome sequencing of domestic cats identified something that explains exactly why the pull is mutual. Genetic variants associated with reward-seeking behavior and reduced fear response. Traits selected not by humans, but by the cats themselves through self-domestication. Your cat did not have domestication done to them. They chose it. Their ancestors selected for the ability to trust humans, to feel rewarded by human proximity, to seek human contact, over hundreds of generations. The cat sleeping on your chest tonight is the direct descendant of an animal that decided, 10,000 years ago, that humans were worth staying close to. Now, everything we have talked about assumes your cat is sleeping with you. But I want to tell you about the scenario that veterinary behaviorists say is critically under-recognized. Because if your cat suddenly stops sleeping on you, that is not neutral information. That is a signal. If your cat has always slept on you and then stops, that is not them becoming independent. Feline cognitive dysfunction, the cat equivalent of dementia, affects an estimated 28% of cats between the ages of 11 and 14, and over 50% of cats aged 15 and older. One of the earliest behavioral signs is a withdrawal from the humans they were most bonded to. Before disorientation, before vocalization, the withdrawal comes first. 3 causes account for most sudden sleep location changes: undiagnosed physical pain, particularly arthritis, environmental stress, and early-stage cognitive decline. The withdrawal is almost always misread as independence. If your cat is older and has recently stopped sleeping with you, that alone is worth a conversation with your vet. Catching cognitive decline early is one of the few points in feline medicine where intervention genuinely extends quality of life. Your cat's sleep location is not a preference. It is a readout of their neurological and physical state. Pay attention to it. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Your cat has the entire house. And they chose you. That is 10,000 years of self-selected evolution. That is an oxytocin loop running in both directions simultaneously. That is a secure attachment bond, the same classification given to a child who feels completely safe with their parent. An animal who, at some point in the night, detected a shift in your breathing and decided to do something about it. Without being asked, without you ever knowing. They do not have words. They never will. So this is how they say it. Drop a comment and tell me, where does your cat sleep? On your chest? On your head? The tactical back to face? I genuinely want to map this across this community. And if this changed how you see your cat even slightly, send this to one person who has a cat. There is a real chance their cat has been doing this for them every night, and they have no idea what it means. Subscribe if you want the next one, because if you want to understand why your cat stares at you, not blinks, not looks, stares, unblinking, from across a room for minutes at a time, that behavior has a neurological explanation that researchers only published last year. And it is the next video.